For our speaker today, we have Coach Steve Hale. He'll be nice. He brought some backup, I think. I don't know why, but he did. And I guess, Coach, come tell us what you got to say today.
Well, I want to thank y'all for having me today. It's exciting to be back. But before we get started, I might have to cancel. I need you looking at that crystal ball and tell me what you see, because we have practice going on right now. I might need to get to practice. But no, I don't believe in crystal balls. I don't believe in luck. I believe in work ethic. That's kind of what we're all about. And but before I do get started, I would like to thank Hutto ISD for embracing me and supporting me, Dr. Killian, Doug Gall, and the administration and what they did. I came here, you know, a year and a half ago. And the Holiday Inn Express is a big part of my start. I remember driving in here in sweatpants and a shirt, changing clothes for my last interview in that bathroom right there, acting like I was staying here, but I wasn't. Refreshing and getting ready to go, and I had a vision. And that vision has been supported by many of you in this room, this community, and this kids. And I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me and my program. And Ed back there snuck in. Ed, thank you for all that you've done for me as well. And Emily sitting down. Okay. Too many of you are here to thank, but I thank you for that. The next group of people I would like to introduce are my parents. My parents have supported me. Would you please stand up if your son is an athlete for me? I'm going to put you on the spot. Okay. Great parent support. Thank you guys. Last year when I got here, this is what I said. This is what I believed in. This was the same thing that I tried to convince the people that hired me. It's about work ethic. As Dr. Killian shared with you, many of you, and you guys read the paper, we have lots of excuses not to be successful. But the number one thing that we're going to do is we're going to find a way for our kids, so our kids don't suffer. And the only way I know how to do that is work. And so that's what we've done. That's what we believe in. So when we got here, this is what we said. Let it begin in 2010. And begin, and this is what happened. And what we want to do is come in with an unbelievable program that was based on values and morals and character and hard work to give these kids a tool to be successful when the football was over with. And if you do that along the way, you're going to win a lot of football games, a lot of championships. And that's what we were able to do. These are many of the accomplishments we had last year. It was unbelievable. Scott asked me a question this morning that many of the people have asked me, did you expect to win at the level that you won in your first year? And the answer was yes, I did. I didn't come here to lose. Our kids and myself and our staff, and we come to work every day to win. But I think there's some secret successes and able to have success. Great kids that bought into the system, great support, and so in our first year we had great success. Our first district championship since 1978, first playoff berth as a 4A program. We broke every strength and conditioning record that we've had, and then you can see all the other records that we set. One of the things I was really pleased of is coming in our first year, and then when you explain to people about taking over a program, for us to come in and me to start at the end of March and play in August and prepare our kids in 4.5 months, it's really tough. It's really tough. And so the commitment level and the expectations were put out there for the kids, and they worked harder than any group I've ever been around. Because of that, we did some things that I believe that makes us a good football program. Number one thing that I'm proud of is the defensive thing. You know, we took over a defense, and the two programs I've taken over were basically guys that were all offensive guys. And so the one thing I came in and said, we're gonna play defense, and we're gonna play great defense. So for us to be a great football program, I believe you've got to be able to run the football and stop the run. And so that was the biggest mindset I think that we had to tackle was to get our kids buying into playing great defense. So we took over a defense that gave up 40 points a game in district and led the district in defense at 14. And we're real excited about 6 of those kids coming back. And then offensively, we broke about every school record there was to break. So we were very balanced in our first year, and we felt great because of that. And because of that, our team was very successful. Next page I'll show you many of the individual awards that go along with great team success, but it is all about the team. We had 3 all-state performers and 2 academic all-state performers. We had 2 Super Syntax, all Super Syntax. We had the defensive district MVP and the newcomer of the year in Tanner, which is back as a sophomore. We're very proud of that. Many first team all district kids, 6 of those kids are returning, and it's something I'm very proud of. There's 19 academic all district kids. We led the district with academics. I believe that's the secret program. I stand by that. I believe whether you're CEO, whether you own your own business, whether you're a head football coach, I believe for you to have success that you got to be able to put that out there and explain and make sure everybody understands what you're about. And it starts with expectations. From the day I got here, I think that one of the best things I do, my wife might argue with you, but I think that argue with me, is that my communication skills. I want to communicate with everybody what our goals are, what our expectations. So from day one, I try to talk to the kids and explain to them what I expect of them. Number 1, their character. What I expect of them in the classroom. Number 2, what I expect of them in the community. And then number 3, if they're getting it done in the classroom and they're getting it done in the community, they get to play football. And I'm very clear about the expectations of what I demand of them with their work ethic, after school, everything. So we spend a lot of time and daily talking about expectations. Expectations of what I expect of my parents, what I expect of the community. So we do a great job of this. And along the way, especially with the first year program coming in, you're going to make some mistakes. And it's okay to make some mistakes. But then I think it's important that we make the corrections as needed, make changes that we need to make change, and then move on. And of course, the bottom line, what makes our program better than anybody else's is our work, and we work. And I didn't bring my sledgehammer this morning, but the kids have really embraced, and the one thing that we talked about last year is coming in here, we don't have much tradition in Hutto football. We've had a couple of great seasons, but the traditions and different things that we're trying to do is establish a winning program that lasts forever. And bottom line, that we make the playoffs and win a championship every year. That type of championship, there's 7 championships to be won in Texas high school football. From district championship to 6 playoff wins. If you win your 6th playoff game, your state championship, you're a state champion. But one of the things that we talk about is work. We want to work. And the kids are real excited about putting their own stamp on this program and doing things. And so this year, with the Leadership Advisory Committee, a group of my leaders, I said, okay, you come up with some things and different traditions you want to do. So the other night I got a text that said, open your door, and I opened my door, and there was a sledgehammer on my front porch. And one of the kids and his dad, they painted it, and it's just a Hutto H, and the kids are going to carry that out over their shoulder. And enough said. It's about work ethic. And that's the one thing I'm proud about these kids, is teaching them an unbelievable work ethic that allow them to be successful. And that's what our program is based on. The number one focus that I try to do is to individually get to know and encourage and support. I have a great coaching staff, we have great teachers, and we've got a lot of people in this room as well that are helping develop the character of these kids. But the number one thing that I'm trying to do is teach these kids some great values that allow them to be successful when the game of football is over with. And it starts with character. And so the one thing that we do every day is we hold these kids to a high standard of the way they dress, the way they act, the way they talk, the yes sir, the no sir, get it done in the classroom. And this is something that we do every day. But there's also something we do in the spring and the off season, and that is a character development class. We don't even dress out one of the 5 days, the first 6 weeks, to talk about how to be a successful man, a productive citizen, and that is one thing I'm proud about. Number 2 is academics. Kids go to school to get an education. And so the one thing we want to do as an athletic program is support the teachers and administration as encouraging these kids to make sure they're on the right track. We have great academic monitoring. We do a great job of communicating with the parents, maybe of some surprises that might be coming along the way. But the number one standard that we do is we raise the standard. We have great standards in Hutto, but we have greater standards, academic and athletic. So I ask these kids to hold a 75. And if they don't maintain a 75, then they have to come to Sunrise Study Hall. So I'm not in the business of waiting around at the last minute and being on the bubble right there. So our parents do a great job getting these kids up there, and then our teachers do a great job allowing our kids to come and get tutored up. And then number 3, great character, great academics makes great football. And we got a lot of great kids. And the one thing that we tell our kids, and if you come out and see us, you know, we're very multiple with what we do on the side of football. You've got to be able to have great character. You've got to have tough skin. You've got to be able to know the system and know the things that we're running. And so from that standpoint, we roll all 3 together. That's what you get from the Hutto athlete. Character, academic, and football. I can't promise and I can't recruit the kids that we have. But the one thing I can promise you, when you come out and you see any Hutto football team take the field, there's 3 things that we're going to be. We're going to be the most disciplined football team. We're going to be the most physical football team. And we're going to be the most conditioned football team. The one thing that we practice all the time, and we tell our kids, and I'm not really a podium guy, so I'm fixing to shove this out of the way. It's about time to get ready and talk a little bit about football. But the one thing, go ahead and strap it up. The one thing that I am excited about is we practice these things every day. I told my coaches and I told my kids when they hired me, I said, I'm very demanding. I want to be very upfront with you. I'm very demanding. I'm going to ask you to do some things you've never done before. And if you do those things, we're going to be very, very successful. And so to be able to do that and perform on Friday nights, you have to practice this every day. And so for the discipline part of hustling when the bell rings, I mean, we run. When the bell rings for athletics, we're running out of the building. Making sure your locker is as clean as it can be, in order and organized, and doing things. It's about that. It's about assignments and doing things and holding on the ball, and discipline's a big word, but we're very disciplined. I'm very proud of our kids. And then physical. We're a very physical football team. And then, of course, conditioning. We run them year-round. We make sure that when we get to the 4th quarter that we outwork everybody. The one thing I think that just, you know, when you preach this, sometimes you need to have an example that is working. And the one thing, we had a great season last year. We had a lot of great games. But the one thing that just is a poster child for this is the Hendrickson game. I remember the Hendrickson game. I remember going there and talking to those kids and seeing them looking around on Thursday night of playing a team that they've never beaten ever in boys athletics. And I told them, I said, the one thing that we need to understand is whatever's happened in the past is the past. What we do from this point on is the most important thing. And so we got over there, and we were ready to go, and we were prepared, and we made a lot of mistakes. And we turned the ball over. And at halftime, we found ourselves down by 2 touchdowns. And so we continued to work and knew that we were going to be very physical. We knew we felt like we could wear them down. They had a D1 tailback. Their backup tailback is a D1 going to TCU. He's back this year. They have more athletes and D1 caliber kids, but they don't have the discipline, the physical condition part that our kids did. And I believe that our kids were going to find a way to win that football game. And we fought back and made it real close and got within 1 point of them. And then they got the ball back. And they continued to drive. And they continued to drive. And they took the ball down to the 2-yard line, 1st down. I'll never forget that. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at them. At that point in time, I still want to win the football game. But this is a great test for our kids' character. Are they going to quit right now? Or are they going to fight and find a way? And then so Pflugerville made a penalty, backed the ball up, so now the ball's on the 7-yard line. We called a timeout, and I looked at the defense and I said, hey, we got one choice right here. Take the ball away. We called a blitz, take the ball away. The ball, so all of a sudden they snap the ball, running back runs the ball. All they got to do basically, and I'm not critiquing their coaching staff, is take a knee. Clock's running, less than 2 minutes, take a knee. But they wanted to score one more time. We called the perfect play, the kid executed it, we got the ball back. Our offense went out there, sputtered a little bit. On 4th down, from the 12-yard line, we make an unbelievable play by our quarterback and receiver, and we win the football game. Unbelievable. And that was the greatest thing about believing in all the things that we do, from the character of our kids and to the main staples of our program. And so we went ahead and continued to roll that out. But that was the one thing I think that gave the kids the belief, and that what we're doing actually works if you execute it. I don't like Henderson very much, do you? The one thing I tell the kids, I'm very blessed to wake up every day and go do something I enjoy doing. I love coaching football and I love being around kids, and I do it. And that was one thing that a lot of people say, you know, that they can just tell I'm very passionate about what I do. We've had a lot of media coverage and a lot of people that come and watch our kids. And I had a news channel come the other day, and they stepped out there at practice and came over there and said, Coach, this is the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen. So I've never seen so much passion at practice with your kids, and they like what they're doing, and they're working hard. I said, it's not that way everywhere else. And I said, I know. But it does start with me, and it starts with our coaches and our kids. And one thing I tell kids, I want you to enjoy doing what you're doing. Hutto football and Hutto athletics is not for everybody. But if you're going to come out there every day, I'm going to expect you to love it and work hard. And we are a very passionate program. Eyes is the one thing that we say to our kids and we teach them. One of the things we try to do is teach our kids some social skills. So the one things that we do is we say the word eyes. When we say the word eyes, they stop what they're doing. They look at us in their eyes, big chest, and they engage with us. And that's one thing that we didn't have to worry about growing up. But today, kids communicate like this. Right? So the one thing we try to do with these freshmen and all these other kids is bring them in and look them in the eyes, teach them how to engage, and teach them to communicate. And so that's the one thing that we stand big on our program is our social skills and the way that we engage and shake hands and lead the school. Effort and attitude. Those are two things I don't ever want to question any kid. If you come out there, put a smile on your face and work as hard as you can. It's about effort and attitude. Accountability. This is a vocabulary word that we had to change. Accountability from the athletic standpoint is, can my team count on me? Can my team count on me? And if you're not accountable, then we're going to have a hard time playing you. If you're failing, you're not accountable. If you're getting in trouble in the classroom, you're not accountable. You're not showing up to practice, you're not accountable. And so we give these kids and try to encourage these kids to teach them some accountability that a lot of these kids aren't being taught at home. But the accountability part is something that we really hold these kids accountable to. Commitment. Commitment is done all the time. We ask for one type of commitment, that's 100% commitment. Once again, I told the kids, I'm going to demand a lot from you. I'm going to ask you to commit yourself to the summer. I'm going to ask you to commit yourself to doing something extra. And the one thing I'm so proud about, UIL allows us to have summer conditioning program. And that's one thing because of the heat, getting our kids ready and all that stuff. But we cannot make a kid come to summer conditioning. But I'm proud to say that we have 42 kids in the varsity dressing room, and all 42 of those kids were 90% or better committed to making every workout. And so I feel real good about the commitment that we've made along the way. All this commitment and everything started in January, and I feel good about the effort we put into that. One thing I asked the kids to be the best teammate. I said, I want you to be the best teammate. It's not about you, it's about the team. And that's the one thing we talk about all the time. I have 170 kids in our program right now at the high school. 160 of them, their parents think they're quarterbacks. Okay? So along the way, sometimes, for us to be the best team, we have to move from position to position to help us to be the best we can be. And for us to do that, we've got to be a great teammate. All of you in this room experience the same things. It's not always about us. It's about seeing the big picture and doing what's best for the program. And that's the one thing I'm proud about. We got some great kids and some great teammates. And another thing that I love is this. Winning is not the most important thing, but the pursuit of winning is. The one thing we took out is the word want. We don't talk about want. Everybody wants. There's a lot of teams out there. The one thing right now is every team in the state of Texas is undefeated. Everybody in the state of Texas right now wants to win a state championship. But our kids have pursued that. And as long as I've pursued it and our kids have pursued it, then whatever happens, I think we can be satisfied with that. But the one thing that we do, and I promise you, is that we're going to pursue winning every game. We're going to pursue winning in the classroom and pursue winning in the streets and being great community members. And that's the one thing that these kids have really done a great job of not talking about it, but being about it. And then the Lean On Me 4. This is a great tradition that we started last year. This is something that we do at the end of the third quarter. At the end of the third quarter, we all come together, we put our fours up. And there's some tradition that goes with this that is exposed to the kids the Thursday night before the first team game. We do some things. I could tell you about it, then I'd have to kill you, but it's very secret. But we do embrace you guys to get involved in the stands, and when we come together to stand up and put our fours up. All this is a mindset. This is a mindset that in the fourth quarter, when teams are the most tired, that I'm going to have enough courage and enough strength to look to my teammate and say, you can lean on me. And if everybody in the room, everybody in the huddle is doing that, then there's nobody leaning. If nobody's leaning in the fourth quarter, you're going to be pretty tough to beat. And so this is something our kids love to do. We practice doing this every day. When we condition, whatever we're doing, when we get to the next two, we stop what we're doing and we do Lean On Me 4. And then we go again. And then maybe we have to go to the fifth quarter or sixth quarter to win. But this is a mentality part that our kids take on. It allows them to be very successful when life is uncomfortable. And that's the one thing that we practice doing, is we need to practice being uncomfortable. A lot of times when kids are uncomfortable, they quit. We have a rule in my house. My son loves to play PlayStation, and most of these kids play PlayStation. But when they're at a disadvantage and they're uncomfortable, they want to get up and hit that reset button. They want to start over. There is no reset button in life. It is what it is. So wherever it is, when we're at a disadvantage, the one thing we want to do is teach these young men to fight and keep fighting until something good happens. And that's the one thing these kids have done a great job, is believing in Lean On Me 4. "2010 was Let It Begin. 2011 is +1. And the one thing that the kids talked about and the one thing that we do is we set goals. We set individual goals academically for our future, football-wise, but team goals are one thing we talked about +1. In our first year, we were very blessed to achieve the goals that we wanted to achieve as a program. Every year is to make the playoffs and win a championship. So now our kids basically said it's +1. Whatever we did last year, we feel like we will not be successful unless we accomplish those goals +1. So we won 9 games. We at least want to win 10. We're working to win 16, but we at least want to win 10. We won 1 championship. We at least want to win 2. And so that's the mindset going into the season that the kids believe in. We also use this all the time. If I ask you to get 8 reps on the bench press, they're going to get 1 more. If we do 10 gassers, they'll stay after, they'll get 1 more. So we're going to have the mindset and the work ethic to get 1 more. And so that when the situation presents itself, we're ready to do what we need to do to obtain our goals and go above and beyond what everybody else expects. Okay, offensively, I'll give you a little preseason rundown of what we're going on. Offensively, this is our starters, and I know it might be hard to see. This is what we base out of. This is what we call a right formation. And we have 5 guys coming back. The biggest thing we got coming back is we've got some great players with some great experience. Our quarterback, Ryan Higgins, is the leader of our offense. Everything goes around him. He did a great job in our first year of understanding what we're trying to do. We're a very balanced offense. We're going to run the football. We're going to throw the football when we don't have to. And we're going to get in many, many formations. But we base out of this right here. In the backfield, we have Greg Petrie. So Ryan and Greg. We have Shane Phillip that's starting tight end. And we have Jay Terrarina as a starting center. All four of those kids are first-team all-district performers coming back. And then our other starting wide receivers are Matt Olson and Forrest Luna. Our starting line right now is Kyle Cahill, Orlando Martinez, a sophomore. I already mentioned Jay, Riley Ortego, and Aaron Gasu. I think those two guys will be the first ones in the line for a buffet. They're each about 6'3", 6'4", 300 pounds. We feel real good about those guys coming up from the JV and giving us an opportunity to continue to be successful with the offensive line. And then Blake Niver, along with Luke Evans, another sophomore, is our starting offense. And we feel real good about those kids and what we're going to do. We're very multiple. And I encourage you to come out and watch us. Our first scrimmage is Saturday against Taylor at Taylor. And then we host Pflugerville. In our scrimmages, you're going to see us in that formation, basically dot and I, and then you're going to see us in twins. The first game against LBJ, you're going to see us in about 112 formations, running the same place. Our kids do a great job of knowing what we're trying to do, and it's been a great year. But the one thing that we've done this year is we look at what we did last year, added the successes, and so now we've got a lot more personnel packages. You see 11 kids up there right there. That's one personnel package. That package right there is called Orange. We have 5 personnel packages on offense. And along with those 5 different personnel packages, it allows us to not only have 11 starters on offense, but about 16 starters on offense. And so we're able to rest kids like Shane, who is also a defensive starter, and get him off the field when we need to rest him. And we'll rest him on offense and be able to do that. We feel real good about what we did our first year and what we're going to do this next coming year. And we got a couple wrinkles that no one's seen yet. And we're excited about showing that to LBJ on the first game. Defensively, we are a 3-4 defense. I told you about us being a 3-4 defense about to stop the run. In our first year, we had a lot of success. And our kids were able to adapt to what we're doing. A 3-4 defense is personnel mostly of smaller, undersized kids that are very, very fast. And even though we line up right here in this formation, we never stay where we're at. We line up and we do a lot of disguising. The one thing that this defense was made to do is stop the spread offense. 8 of our 10 opponents are spread offenses. Spread offenses are made to no huddle, and then at that point in time when they no huddle, they don't want you to huddle. So we don't huddle as well. And at that point in time, we're going to show a disguise. So we'll line up in a certain defense. And then a guy with a college degree, he'll make a call. And then as soon as he makes the call, we're going to move to something else. And then the kid that's only been driving for about 6 months, his eyes are going to get that big, and he's going to go, "This ain't what we practice, coach." And then at that point, we're able to attack and be very successful at what we do. This is Dr. Killian's favorite thing is our safeties walking up right there. We do play with what we call 9 in the box. The one thing that we're very excited about is the leadership that's coming back over there. We've got Tanner Thrift, our left end. Was a sophomore, newcomer of the year. Big kid, hard-working kid. He's going to help his anchor right there. And then Shane is coming over, and he's going to play outside linebacker for us. Our outside linebackers are called Anchor and Blood. Our anchors are bigger kid that plays defensive end, and our blood is Amir Atkins, that is also a first-team all-district kid. Made a lot of great plays in district, and feel real good about our linebacking core. Our inside linebackers are Jacob Stoner and Taylor Mays. Jacob was second-team all-district. And then one of the biggest things we had to replace was our nose guard. Our nose guard was an all-state performer. So we have a sophomore now, Rolando, about the same body style, a hard-working young kid, strong kid, very quick, that's going to play nose. Eric Palenko is going to be our right end, our quick end. In the backfield, we have James Fellerhoff, our safety, and Bobby Samdumu. Both of those kids last year played the same position. They shared reps about every series. So they've got some experience. We brought James up, moved him from quarterback as a sophomore to safety, and he did a great job for us last year because of injury. We're real excited about him back there making most of the calls. And then at corner right now, we have TJ Overton starting and Malik Spence. Greg Petrie's also going to play some corner for us. He's our starting tailback. He's had some injuries, so from that standpoint, we're playing a lot of kids right there. And that's what we're doing right now in 3-4 defense. The one thing I will share with you, okay, is that we've got a great senior class. We've got a great senior class. We have about 19 lettermen coming back. And then the one thing that we're excited about too is we have some young kids. We have 7 sophomores up on the varsity right now that have a chance to start for us. The one thing we're going to do with those 7 sophomores is we're going to break the myth. One of my mentors, Coach Farter, that hired me in my first job, he passed away last spring and with cancer, but I like to look back and think about all the advice and all the different things that he told me. He said, we like to play sophomores, but here's the rules with sophomores. For every sophomore that you're starting, that's how many losses you're going to have. And so I said, okay. So as I was reflecting on what Coach Farter was telling me the other day, I said, we got to break that myth. Also, like the same myth that you can't come in to a town in 5 months and win. We broke that myth as well. So I'm really excited about this team. You know, the one thing I want to promise you is that we're going to make you proud. We're going to make you proud of, on Friday nights, we're going to make you proud of what we do in the classroom, and we're going to make you proud of what we do in the community. And that's the one thing we talk about all the time, the balance. The balance of being a Hutto football player. Those kids are great kids. I'm blessed to be their head coach. You know, the one thing I tell them, you know, and as an athletic director, I support all sports. I love going to everything. We had a great year across the board. Our girls last year made the playoffs in every sport. Our boys made the playoffs in every sport except soccer. Our track team went to state last year and broke 4 records and finished 4th with underclassmen. But I told these kids this, there's not any sport in Hutto where 8,000 to 10,000 fans are going to come out and support you. Everyone's eye on you, and that ought to hold you accountable to making sure that you're doing the right thing across the board. I can't wait for this football season to kick off. I can't wait for that first football game against LBJ. We're going to have a great pregame ceremony in which we're going to honor one of our fallen, many of our fallen heroes. And I invite you guys to come out and be a part of that pregame as well. And then we're going to kick it off at 7:30 against LBJ. My office and our practices are always open. We support you to come out and sit in the stands and watch practice or sit in the parking lot and encourage these kids. If there's anything I can ever do for you, you let us know. And thank you for your time. If you have any questions right now, Scott, are we all right on time?
As long as you need.
Okay, if you have any questions, I know many of you guys are, you know, we're starting to sell season tickets. Many of you guys want to get a chance to get in on that so you can sit on the front row and make all the calls and I know many of you guys want to do that, so you have an opportunity to buy some tickets up close. But we're ready to go. Any questions about anything? Anybody? Drew? Any questions?
I'm ready.
Okay, good. Okay, yeah, no questions. I thank you for your time. Thank you.